All right, so good morning. It's a great, good morning. Good morning. All right, so I will just say it is a great pleasure to be here at the Manufacturing Momentum Summit and to speak on behalf of NIST, which, as Matt said, co-sponsored this event. And first, I want to thank the American Manufacturing Communities Collaborative, and especially Matt and David in the back for organizing this event. But most of all, I want to thank all of you for being here this morning. And I'm thanking you because after many years of developing leading programs to support American advanced manufacturing, it's absolutely clear to me that the active engagement and connection of all the organizations that are here today is needed if we're going to achieve the goal of reclaiming American leadership in manufacturing. As Matt said, I'm Robert Rudnitsky. I'm a physicist at the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST, which is part of the Department of Commerce. I'm also the Associate Director and Division Chief for Strategy and Planning in the Advanced Manufacturing National Program Office. I'm here today to talk to you about the Manufacturing USA program, which we have managed for over a decade, and about our connection with manufacturing communities. I'll start by saying the obvious. This summit is important. It's important when leaders from state economic agencies come great distances to meet with federal grant makers, when regional consortia like the NSF Engines, the EDA Tech Hubs, and yes, and I need to advance my slide. And yes, the Manufacturing USA Institutes are collaborating with the MEP centers and with our nation's great national laboratories, including NIST. It's important when professors from universities want to step out from their research and their classrooms to work with nonprofits, with local accelerators, and with local venture capital because they believe in what this country can be. It's important when Americans who are young in age, and I see some of you here, come here to Washington to join with those who are young in spirit to build a foundation to take this country's manufacturing communities in a common new direction. And that's what this summit is about. And so as I speak for the next few minutes about my program, Manufacturing USA, which has been working in this space for longer than some of the newer programs, I want to ask you to think about how you might link up with us and, as importantly, how you link up with each other. Because if we can mobilize our abilities, our resources, our human capital, and challenge ourselves to do better together, we can build a brighter manufacturing future for communities around the nation. So, what is Manufacturing USA? At its core, it's a network of institutes that ensures that technologies that are invented in our country are made here by skilled American manufacturing workforce. Our institutes identify bottleneck research needed to move technologies from the laboratory and into production, and then harness the ingenuity of scientists and engineers from small and large companies, along with university researchers, to systematically and confidently solve those research challenges. In doing so, the institutes strengthen their communities and build the domestic supply chains needed to ensure that finished products are manufactured here. Institutes are set up as public-private partnerships with participation from large and small manufacturers, universities, government labs, state and local governments, economic development agencies, and other institutions. Each institute has two key focuses: technology advancement and addressing the education and workforce skills gap for their unique technologies. They typically start out with $70 to $120 million in federal funds. However, as I'll describe momentarily, our newest institute will begin with a significantly larger investment. But whatever the federal investment, it has to be matched by non-federal co-investment of at least that much. And that can come in a variety of forms, including funds, in-kind contributions, equipment, etc. And that cost share has typically come from industry, but also supported by private foundations, universities, economic development agencies, and local and state governments. So what does this look like? Across the nation, manufacturers are connecting with each other through the institutes in high-impact collaborative applied research projects, because the lesson of the decade of this program has taught us that bringing together small company entrepreneurs with big company innovators can be a force multiplier for R&D and lead to transformational products. A decade of doing this has taught us that the enormous value of gaining access to the manufacturing communities when it's experienced by small manufacturers as they network with large company and academic institutions can really be transformational. It's taught us that for universities and community colleges, institute engagement provides more than just research funding. It also lets them learn about our industry's top priorities. Graduate programs and national labs can launch next stage research, working hand in hand with US manufacturers. And community colleges and training programs can provide their students with life-changing opportunities by engaging with our workforce development programs, collaborating on curricula, and gaining new, high-paying technology career pathways for their students. And for state and local governments and economic development agencies, there's an opportunity to develop and strengthen regional hubs as companies build capabilities around these institutes and even relocate to get closer to the emerging hubs that the institutes can nucleate. State and local governments can seize on these opportunities and invest resources in their communities when they're catalyzed by their connections to these institutes. So now that I've shared insights into what it means to be an institute and why they're so critical to our communities, I want to give a big picture of the network. Simply put, the Manufacturing USA Network is a network of networks linking people together. Each of our 17 institutes, with 2 more to come, works on a distinct technology in one of 5 broad technology areas: electronics, materials, energy, digital controls and automation, and biomanufacturing. They are sponsored by either the Department of Commerce, Energy, or Defense, with active support from 6 other federal agencies. Last year, the institutes collectively worked on over 2,900 member organizations on more than 920 major applied research and development projects of high priority to industry. 62% of their members were manufacturing firms, and 2/3 of those were small or mediums. Industry enthusiasm about the institutes is so strong, and the catalyzing effect of the federal investment is so effective that year after year, industry co-investment exceeds the program design of one-to-one match. Institute education programs last year engaged over 150,000 people in advanced manufacturing training, and 22% of our member organizations were from community colleges or universities. And recognizing the importance of these activities, 16% of our members were state and local economic development agencies. So what's next? I'm happy and excited to say that we're welcoming a new CHIPS Digital Twin Manufacturing USA Institute to the network. As announced 3 weeks ago, the Department of Commerce and the Semiconductor Research Corporation are in negotiations to establish a first-of-its-kind institute headquartered in Durham, North Carolina. The institute will receive $285 million of department funding and a combined total of over $1 billion of funding. We anticipate the award coming in the next few weeks. In addition, a competition for an artificial intelligence institute for resilient manufacturing is underway, with awards expected in the spring. So how does the summit fit into our work? Well, Matt touched on this. We're supporting on this summit because of the importance to the US of encouraging engagement across manufacturing communities. We want to ensure that our approach to building advanced manufacturing ecosystems is connected and aligned with as many partners as possible to grow effective and efficient domestic manufacturing quickly. And we're excited to see that many of you are interested in having the same conversation with us, and equally importantly, with each other. So with that, I want to bring us back to where we started. This summit is about finding a path to the future together. And for that, I'll just say, to learn more about our programs, I encourage you to look at our recently released strategic plan, our recently released annual report, and for a broader view of what the federal government is doing in advanced manufacturing, look at our 2022 National Strategy for Advanced Manufacturing. So today, as we listen to the panels and participate in the working groups, I think you're going to learn what we learned. Oh, this hasn't advanced. Listen to the panels and participate in the working groups, I think you're going to learn what we learned in 10 years of Manufacturing USA, that our problems are shared and that we are each other's solutions, that the challenges of an executive director of an accelerator in Detroit aren't that different from a new CEO of a Manufacturing USA Institute in San Jose, that the hopes of an MEP manager in Atlanta may be the same as the dreams of a chief manufacturing officer in Hartford. Together, here, we can use this workshop to strengthen new cooperative efforts to further America's great manufacturing story. And with that, I want to thank you. Thank you, Matt, and back to you. Thank you.